Well, howdy everybody, Keith Warren here, and welcome to the show. We're in the Sunshine State, where today we visit two different farms. We'll start out at a guy's place that's been farming deer longer than just about anybody else here, and then we'll feature the youngest deer farmer we've ever met, right here on the show. The whitetail deer is America's favorite big game animal, and whitetail deer farming is the fastest growing segment in the American agriculture industry. Our program's mission is to dive into the world of deer farming and discover why tens of thousands of Americans compete to create the biggest bucks in the world. And by the biggest bucks, we don't just mean the size of the antlers. The financial investment opportunities produced even on small parcels of rural land will blow you away. Join me as we discover how whitetail genetics, deer auctions, animal husbandry, and so much more drive the deer farming industry. My name is Keith Warren, and this is Deer and Wildlife Stories. So Florida is one of those states that many deer farmers don't realize even exists for deer farming, and I guess the reason why is because it's so warm down here. But the Florida deer market is strong, really strong. And the reason why the Florida market is so strong because it's basically supply and demand. What's happened in Florida, I mean, the Florida deer, most of them are little, and the hunters want big deer. And the way they're going to get big deer is from a deer farmer.
My name's Mike Mansfield. We're at High Xpectations Whitetails here in LaBelle, Florida. Currently we're running about 110, 120 deer, counting this year's fawns, babies that's still with mamas. We're on about 15 acres here, just bought 5 acres next door, and that's about as big as I want to get it this time till one of the boys decide to take it over.
So I've known Mike Mansfield for 15 years, I guess, and I've been at his farm several times. We've done several shows throughout the years, and every time I'm with Mike, I realize that Mike's main reason that he likes to do this is because of the love of the deer. It just so happens that Mike is he's a leader down here in Florida. I mean, he has helped so many people through the years get started in the deer farming industry because he's got a giving heart. I mean, Mike is very knowledgeable about it. He's enthusiastic about it. And it's all because of the love of the white-tailed deer.
So when I come to a farm, I'll wind up go to a buck pen. I try to figure out what is the first thing that comes to my mind. What is my first takeaway from it? And the takeaway that I have every time I come here is, number one, your deer are gentle. Okay, that's the number one thing. I mean, look at the behavior. But number two, I mean, they're typical. You know, your deer, every single time I've been here, they're typical. And there is one thing that I'm noticing here, though, that several of these have got messed up one sides. What happened?
Keith, we had like maybe a little mini tornado come through here, and the hail was horrible, about ping pong ball size when they're about 4 inches out of their head.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell exactly where it hit them, and they just split off, and you know, they did what they do when they get a damage on the top side.
Well, there's some of them that the hail didn't get to, like that one right there. And I mean, look at him. He is absolutely gorgeous. So, okay, how many you got in here, and what are the tag colors? Tell everybody about the age class.
There's about probably 35 bucks in here, Keith. The black tags are going to be our yearlings, our first set of antlers. Yellow tags are 2, and then it goes on from there. I got a couple green tags in here I kept from last year that are 3, and
What's the blue?
the blue is 5. That's a deer. That's a perfect dream son that I sold and went back and got. The guy never worked on him. He didn't have a real tight program. That means that deer's tough.
Okay.
I went back and bought him.
This guy right here with the long brow tines, who is he?
That's Big Guns.
Oh.
BG is what we call him as a nickname, but he's 4 this year, and he's a big deer.
Yes, he is. I love his look.
We've been working for 4 or 5 years now on the brow tines, adding length to the brow tines, and you can see it's starting to come together.
Oh, he's got them. He's got them.
We breed a lot, in addition to the CWD susceptibility that we're trying to get ahead of. We breed a lot for just predictable production. I want that typical look coming out of these deer.
And you may be wondering where the end game is for these deer. The end game for these deer are going to be sold to people that have big preserves that want these genetics on there.
Right.
And the end game down the road is at some point the genetics out of these animals is going to be used to increase their property value, and also for hunters. When hunters come and they want to hunt, they want to hunt for animals that are genetically superior.
Correct.
So therefore that's going to be the end game, and it may be a year, it may be 5, or maybe 10 years down the road, but the genetics from places like Mike's are going to impact in a positive way these preserves all over.
Yeah, and don't take how comfortable these deer are standing in this pen. When they get released out there in a big preserve, they return to a deer within 3 days.
And the thing is, and it is hard to find them, but the good news is that the genetics are out there.
That's right.
Boy, I like him right there.
Yeah, that's a beyond control.
Really?
That's a beyond control 2-year-old. The yellow tags are 2.
Yeah, well, beyond control, that's a deer that I hadn't heard that name in a long time, but he's got a lot of deer in the registry underneath him. But right now, folks, we're going to take a look at a doe. You say you got a doe that needs some help?
I got a doe that's, her babies are number 1 and 2 this year, so they're right at ready to wean. She's in another pen with some other mamas. And, all the babies are swarming and nursing her, and they're starting to pull her down, so we're going to pull her off, vaccinate the babies, move them on to another pen, and then I'll separate them later.
Good deal. We'll show you that process, and then we'll show you some more bucks here when we get back.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by MVP Whitetails, Dr. Ray Favero's Whitetail Genetics, UVC Power Sports Tractors and Outdoors, and Vandergrift Toyota in Arlington, Texas. Now it's time for viewer feedback.
All right, so this is off of Facebook Messenger from a lady by the name of Amanda. She says, "You have really inspired our twins as well as our 7-year-old son. Our girls are bent on being veterinarians and pushing forward to being in politics to save the deer industry all over. I have to filter them tons when they do their videos." I guess they're doing some videos, but anyway, Amanda, thank you. You know, it's wonderful to hear positive feedback from people, and wonderful to know that this television show can have a positive impact on not just adults, but on kids alike. So thank you very much for that. If y'all have a question or a comment, you can head on over to Facebook and shoot me something on Messenger, and I'll get back with you, I promise you, or you can shoot me an email. Thank you.
Deer and Wildlife Stories, we'll be right back. Okay, so you've got property and you're wanting to build, maybe a barn dominium, maybe deer facilities, or maybe a badass lodge. Well, you've got to check out Rafter P Construction, the leading design build contractor across the state of Texas. Specializing in quality farm and ranch projects, Rafter P Construction encourages their customers to be very hands-on. Rafter P Construction will be with you every step of the way to make your one-of-a-kind build a reality.
My name is Sammy Dawes. I am part of High Xpectations with Mike Mansfield, and this is our dog Brutus. High Xpectation Whitetails is located in LaBelle, Florida. It's approximately 30 minutes east of Fort Myers. This is the second week of August, and we are so happy to have Keith Warren back on the farm. You just never know where he is or what he's up to. He and Mike do a lot of talking and a lot of visiting. Not only does he come out here to film the farm and see what we do here, but he's also a friend of ours, and we enjoy the time that he gets to spend here. So like I said, we just never know where he is. He wanders around the farm and checks things out, and this year he's it's been a couple years since he was here, but this year it's been a nice visit with him, and we've had a lot of fun filming and talking about the deer and just having a good time with him.
What we're going to do this morning is we're going to knock down 2 of my fawns that are ready to be weaned. What we do is we go ahead and do our CD&T vaccination. We worm them. We just check them for everything while we have our hands on them. We're going to take their baby tag out and switch them over to their permanent big old tag. We're going to relocate them. We're going to relocate the mother to a new pen, a clean pen. We're going to clean their pen up and prep them to wean. What we try to do is we try to do these 3 or 4 stressful events on the fawn while they stay with the mother. So they're going to be getting vaccinated, getting wormed, getting retagged, getting relocated, and the mother's going to stay with them to reduce the stress on that fawn. And then in a week or so, we'll be able to either we'll part them out. We'll either walk the mother out of the pen or we'll walk the babies out of the pen, and they'll go to their weaning pen, where it's another stress, but we have spread that stress out over several weeks. So it's not so hard on them.
All right, so you vaccinated the doe and fawns, okay?
Right.
Tell everybody about these bucks. Do you vaccinate them, and if so, why?
I do a very marginal vaccination, Keith. I give them a CD&T when I wean them, and anytime I put my hands on them. So very little once they get older.
Okay.
Just guarding them from tetanus, a little bit of Clostridium. I mean, at the end of the day, we're having these deer feed, and that's not really what they're built to eat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feed a lot of hay and stuff, so I vaccinate for Clostridium. Really, that's it, and I worm.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, so describe your typical customer.
In Florida, my typical customer is gonna be someone with a passion for the deer. There's probably 50-50 that want it as a deer business, a breeder business, but majority of them here, they're either running their own preserve and they wanna raise bucks and stuff there, started out as a passion, or it's just for their private stuff and they're gonna turn deer loose. A lot of that's going on. We're like number 3 or 4 in the United States on high fence being sold here in Florida.
Yeah.
A lot of people are fencing their places and just, they want better genetics.
Well, the genetics have been shot out in just about every place in the United States, and that's
That's right.
the reason why people deal with deer farms, period, to be able to get deer like that.
That's right.
I'm going to point something out. Mike helps everybody. I mean, he's been doing this for 25 years, and his clients, I mean, he's started so many people up in the deer farming industry here in Florida. His clients, he works one-on-one with.
Absolutely.
And the reason why is he wants to make sure that those clients are successful. And whether it's handling little, fawns like we just got done, or handling the deer like this. I mean, you want to make sure that everybody is successful.
Absolutely.
I think, how many breeders are there now in Florida?
Oh, they say on math there's 400 licensed to have whitetails. There's probably only maybe 150 that really participate in the deer
And
whitetail.
I will tell you this, everybody that is participating in the whitetail industry in Florida knows Mike Mansfield. And the reason why is because he does what he says he's going to do. He started a lot of people up that are very successful in the deer farming business, but he's growing deer like this. And I'm telling you, I'm amazed every time I come out here at how typical these deer are. I mean, they're starting to push some extras, but right now it is the 2nd week of August. This is a really good time of year to come out and see what these deer are going to finish like, because they've only probably got another week or so to go.
That's right. They're starting to shrink and turn black now.
So if somebody is interested in deer farming, or somebody is a current deer farmer in Florida and they want to come out here and see you, what do they need to do?
Just give me a call. I mean, area code 239-851-6864. Catch my email. Best way is to give me a call. If I don't answer, text me, but that's the best way to get a hold of me.
And I'm telling you, after the break, we're going to head over and we're going to introduce you to what will be the youngest deer farmer I've ever done a show with. And anyway, his dad is actually a deer farmer, but this young kid, he thinks he's the deer farmer. And we'll introduce you to him in just a little bit.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by Vara Ranch, LE Fence, Record Rack Deer and Elk Feeds, Massey Ferguson Tractors at UVC Power Sports, and by New Dart. Deer and Wildlife Stories will be right back. Closed captioning is brought to you by Advanced Deer Genetics.
All right, so right now we're down by Lake Okeechobee. This is John Entry. He's with Rocking JE Whitetail Deer Farm, right?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, John is a relatively new deer farmer. He hadn't been deer farming all that long, but he got most of his deer from Mike Mansfield. And later on the show, we're going to go with Little John, John's son, and we're going to show you some deer, kind of hang around, see what a 6-year-old deer farmer does. But tell me about the bucks in here.
So we got Heatstroke. He's a 2-year-old. He's out of High Heat and a 2028 doe.
Wow, that's good blood, and he is a pretty deer. I mean, he's real nice, pretty typical. And who's that green tag in there? He's heavy. He looks like a 3-year-old. Who's that?
Yes, sir. That's my little boy's buck, which Little John can tell you all about him later on.
Okay, all right.
And I'm sure he'd be glad to do that.
All right. Okay, and you had mentioned there was another deer in here, Big Mo?
Yes, sir.
All right, tell me about Big Mo.
Big Mo, he's the granddaddy of the pen. He's a 7-year-old Gladiator 2 buck.
Oh, wow. I want to point out that at the beginning of the show, we went to Mike Mansfield's farm, and most of your deer genetics did come from Mike, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And it's for that reason you're going to look out here and you're going to see these bucks are real pretty clean, typical deer. And is that one reason why you chose to go with Mike? Because there are a lot of breeders over here to get deer from.
Yes, sir, there is. I went with Mike. He's got a lot of the Texas genetics that you know, in the South here, we need something that's going to hold up to this environment and all our parasites that we have down here.
And they got a lot of bugs. I mean, it's warm down here in Florida, and what happened is before the borders closed here in Florida, Mike brought in deer from Texas, okay? And those Texas genetics turned out they were a good investment for him, and they're helping be a good investment for you. And you can tell they're really nice, pretty typical deer, so that's awesome. Okay, so how many deer do you have total, and how many acres is the farm on?
Well, the farm's on about 11.5 acres,
Okay.
Keith, and we got a little over 30 head of deer.
Okay, all right, and currently you're bottle feeding deer, right?
Yes, sir.
But not all of them.
No, sir, not all of them. We have a select few that we like to bottle feed.
Okay, and what we're going to do after the break, we're going to go and we're going to start out showing you what a 6-year-old deer farmer does, at least part of a job on a deer farm.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by Maloof Whitetails, the North American Deer Registry, New Dart, and Whitetails of Louisiana. Now some great information on fencing from our friends at LE Fence.
Hey guys, this is Ron with LE Fence here. What we're doing right now is we're putting an overhead up in this gate area solely because we're trying to hinge the gate off of the side without the brace. Reason we're doing this is because we've got the trees right here and we don't want to take any of the space and take the trees out of here. We want to leave the tree coverage for the deer. So in order to do this, we got to raise the pipes up a little bit, give about 2 feet of clearance over our gate, and then weld a horizontal pipe between the two uprights. In doing so, we're going to be able to hang the gate off of the far post, and that's going to take all the pressure off of the single post and distribute it through the overhead and the brace. That way we can fold the gate open and shut, and we don't have to worry about a sagging post. So if you ever need a solution on how to hang a gate but you don't have all the room for the brace, if you can do an overhead in there, you'll be good to go. So thanks a lot, guys.
Deer and Wildlife Stories will be right back.
So I come out here to John Early's deer farm, and one thing I can tell about John's kind of a quiet guy. This is not his full-time gig, but John loves the whitetail deer, and that passion is not just between him and his wife. I mean, Becky, you know, you'll see her making bottles or feeding the babies, doing whatever she needs to do to help out, but they also got another helper, and his name is Little John. And Little John has been deer farming a long time now. He may be only 6 years old, but listen how long he's been deer farming. Okay, so you got one in there. He's got a yellow tag. Who is that one? What's his name?
Which one?
The one that's got the yellow tag, the real pretty one. See him there?
Oh, Heatstroke.
Heatstroke. How old is Heatstroke?
2.
How old?
2.
2? Oh my goodness. So what do you think of him? Is he a pretty good one for you?
I love his horns.
Yeah, I love them too. I mean, they look good. Now,
I think Big Mo and High Heat have the best horns in this pen.
wait a minute. You said Big Mo?
Big Mo and
Which one? Where's Big Mo?
the one right there.
Okay, which one? Tell me. Okay.
Just buying one right beside Bullet.
Oh, he's pretty. How long you been farming deer?
Before I was born.
Before you're born? I was gonna say, I think you've been doing it a long time. That's for sure. But and what are you, 6 now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, this is
My whole life I've been doing deer.
your whole life you've been deer farming? Wow.
Before my life.
Before your life.
Well, I think that's pretty cool. Okay.
My mom had one big pen. My mom lived at my dad's brother's house. They had one big pen. They just put deer in there.
And
yeah.
so before you were born, you've been around deer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think that's pretty cool. I think that's what happened to me too. It just, I haven't been deer farming that long. But, okay, tell me, who's that buck over there? That he's right over there, he's got the green tag.
So we have, Spot has the green tag. He's in the one
Yeah.
facing the corner, I think.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I see Spot. Okay, so tell me about Spot. How old is he? Why do you call him Spot?
3. I call him Spot because he had spots when he was a baby.
Well, don't we
So-
all have spots?
Right, so I just call him Spot.
Okay, was he bottle fed?
Yes, sir.
So, are you gonna make me a deal on Spot? Can I buy him from you?
No, sir.
Why not?
I don't want you to buy him.
Well, how much you want for him? Would you take anything for him? Think about that now.
I won't let you buy him.
Okay, all right. You sound like a lot of deer breeders I know. It's not for sale, so Spot's not for sale. Okay. So, Bullet, show me
There's
Bullet.
one for sale.
You got one for sale? Which one?
It's the orange tag.
The orange tag. How much you want for him?
You have to ask my dad for that.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's what they always say. Let me go check on that. Okay. What are we doing for supper?
I don't know.
I hear
You're
you
not-
cooking. Are you cooking supper?
No, sir.
Well, take me to the house. Let's go. We'll figure out. They got peanut butter and jelly up there, maybe, huh?
Do you?
Do you like peanut butter and jelly? Oh, come on, man.
I do not like peanut. Peanut there.
Well, the deer like peanut hay, don't they? In the deer farming business in some states, the market is mature. It's not mature here in Florida. It is like booming. So literally every deer farmer that I know in Florida is making money. It's a treat for me to come down here and be able to feature a couple of farms and be able to make some new friends. If you're watching online, go ahead and leave a comment. We'll get back with you. If you're not watching online, head on over to our YouTube channel and make sure to subscribe while you're there. My name is Keith Warren, and I'll see y'all next time.